He looked like the boy next door. Law student, clean-cut, a smile that made strangers want to help him. Between 1974 and 1978, at least 30 young women vanished after meeting that smile. Some were found months later scattered across mountain slopes. Some were never found at all. He kept their heads. He returned to the bodies. He confessed on the eve of his execution. And even then, the world still argues about how many lives he actually stole. This is the story of Theodore Robert Bundy, the man who proved evil can hide behind perfect manners. January 15, 1978. A sorority house in Tallahassee, Florida. 2:47 a.m. The hallway lights flicker once and die. A shadow moves between the rooms carrying a wooden club wrapped in cloth. Screams begin, then stop. By sunrise, 4 young women lie bleeding. 2 will never wake up. And somewhere in the humid night, a Volkswagen Beetle drives away without headlights. Seattle, 1974. Evergreen forests press against the city like silent witnesses. Rain falls in sheets. Campus streets shine black under street lamps. Lake Sammamish is packed on summer Sundays. Laughter, radios, suntan oil. No one notices the handsome man with his arm in a sling asking pretty girls for help loading a sailboat. Utah's Red Canyons swallow sound. Colorado's ski towns feel safe behind locked resort doors. Florida's sticky nights carry the smell of magnolia and fear. Every place he chose had one thing in common: young women who still believed kindness was safe. And Marie Burr, 8 years old, vanished from her Tacoma bedroom in 1961. Some say Bundy later hinted she was his first. Janice, 23, loved the sun, rode her yellow bicycle everywhere, dreamed of traveling the world. Denise Naslund, 18, laughed easily, worked 2 jobs to save for college. Georgian Hawkins, long dark hair, walked the same brightly lit alley every night after visiting her boyfriend. Margaret Bowman, Lisa Levy, Karen Chandler, Kathy Kleiner. Chi Omega sisters who left their doors unlocked because it was Florida State and nothing bad ever happened here. They were daughters, sisters, dreamers, and every one of them met a man who seemed polite, injured, harmless. July 14th, 1974. Lake Sammamish State Park. Over 40,000 people. A man calling himself Ted approaches Janice. He wears a white tennis outfit, arm in a gray sling. "Could you help me with my sailboat? It'll only take a minute." She leaves her blanket, her friends, her yellow bike. Hours later, he returns. Same sling, same smile. This time Denise Naslund follows him toward the parking lot. Neither woman is ever seen alive again. Witnesses remember the name Ted. They remember the tan Volkswagen. They remember feeling uneasy, but not uneasy enough to stop him. Bodies begin surfacing on Taylor Mountain. Skulls, jawbones, strands of long hair in different shades. Some victims are found posed, arms arranged, makeup applied weeks after death. He keeps driving east. Salt Lake City, Aspen, Snowmass. A policeman stops a suspicious Beetle at 2 a.m. inside. Handcuffs, pantyhose mask, ice pick, crowbar. The officer lets him go with a warning. In Florida, he walks into a junior high school dance looking for fresh prey. The monster is no longer hiding. If these shadows have already crawled under your skin, thank you, beautiful soul, for staying with me. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're building something real here together. Every click helps these forgotten names stay heard. You are the reason these stories still breathe. I'll be waiting for you in 30 seconds where the net finally starts to close on the man who believed he was untouchable. You're amazing. Let's keep walking these dark halls together. August 16th, 1975. The night air in Salt Lake County is thin and cold. A Utah Highway Patrol sergeant spots a tan Volkswagen Beetle creeping through a quiet suburb at 2 in the morning. The driver refuses to stop at first. When he finally does, his hands tremble on the wheel. Inside the car, handcuffs on the back seat, a ski mask, an ice pick, rope, a crowbar. The man behind the wheel smiles politely and says he was just driving around. His name, he tells the officer, is Theodore Robert Bundy. The sergeant writes him a ticket and lets him go. Less than 24 hours later, another young woman disappears. Across Washington state, detectives stare at maps covered in red pins. Taylor Mountain, Issaquah. The bodies keep appearing in pieces. Long dark hair, medium brown hair, blonde. They all look alike in death, but in life they had names, futures, favorite songs. Investigators beg the public for help. Someone must have seen something. A composite sketch circulates. Handsome, dark hair, charming smile. A few women come forward and whisper the same story. A man named Ted asked for help with his sailboat. One of them, Carol Duranch, is still alive because she fought back when the handcuffs clicked. November 8, 1974. Fashion Place Mall, Utah. Carol, 18, pretty, trusting, walks toward a man who says he's a police officer. He shows a gold badge, tells her someone tried to break into her car. She follows him to a side door. The moment they step outside, he snaps a cuff on her wrist and shoves a gun against her head. She screams, claws, kicks. A passing couple hears the struggle. The man flees. Carol lives to describe the Volkswagen, the fake badge, the smell of fear inside that car. For the first time, the hunter has left a witness. Pressure mounts. Colorado reports missing women. Ski resorts. Hitchhikers. A grave is found near a mountain road. 2 bodies, one identified as Nurse Karen Campbell, who simply vanished from a hotel hallway. Detectives from 3 states meet in secret. They trade photographs of bite marks. Strands of hair found in a beetle, sketches of the same smiling man. They have no idea he is already sitting in a Utah jail for aggravated kidnapping. The Duranch case. When they pull his name, the pieces fall together like a nightmare puzzle. Theodore Robert Bundy. Born 1946. Law student. Former crisis hotline volunteer. The man who once worked beside future Washington governor candidate and Rule. January 1977. The trial in Aspen is televised. Bundy fires his lawyers and defends himself. He grins at the cameras, flirts with reporters, signs autographs. He escapes twice. Once by jumping from a second-story courthouse window. Once by sawing through the ceiling of his cell and dropping into the night. 6 days later, in Florida, he rents a room near Florida State University under the name Chris Hagen. The Chi Omega sorority house is only blocks away. On the night of January 15th, the Wooden Club comes out again. Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy never wake up. Karen Chandler and Kathy Kleiner survive with broken jaws and shattered lives. A few hours later, Cheryl Thomas fights off the same intruder in her apartment 8 blocks away. This time neighbors call police before he finishes. February 9th, 1978. Pensacola, Florida. A stolen orange Volkswagen is pulled over for a broken taillight. The driver has no license, 3 sets of stolen ID, and 21 stolen credit cards. When they run his prints, the smiling man in the orange jumpsuit finally stops smiling. The charm has run out of road. Your presence here means the world. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so we never lose each other in the shadows. Together we keep their names alive, and together we grow this sanctuary for the untold. You are the heartbeat of this channel. June 25th, 1979. The Orange Bowl courtroom in Miami is a furnace of flashbulbs and whispered rage. Hundreds of reporters cram the benches. Cameras roll for the first time in Florida history. At the defense table sits Theodore Robert Bundy, hair perfectly combed, tie knotted like a college senior on interview day. He smiles at the jury, nods at spectators, signs autographs during breaks. Across from him, survivors and grieving parents stare at the man who turned their daughters into ghosts. The judge warns the room, no outbursts, but the air itself feels ready to explode. Prosecutors lay out the Chi Omega nightmare piece by piece. Photographs of bite marks on Lisa Levy's breast and buttocks. So deep the pattern of teeth is unmistakable. A pantyhose mask found in the sorority dumpster with hairs that match Bundy's. The eyewitness who saw a man with a club limping away from the house, exactly the way Bundy limped after jumping from the Aspen courthouse window. Then comes Cheryl Thomas, the dancer attacked 8 blocks away that same night. She sits in the witness box, voice trembling. and describes the shadow that stood over her bed until neighbors' lights scared him off. Bundy leans forward, eyes locked on her, smiling the entire time. The courtroom temperature seems to drop 10 degrees. He takes the stand in his own defense. No lawyer, just Ted. He cross-examines survivors with soft questions, compliments their bravery, tells the jury he could never hurt anyone. He claims the bite marks are from someone else, the hairs planted, the witnesses mistaken. He speaks of his childhood, his political ambitions, his love for his girlfriend Elizabeth and her little daughter. He cries on cue. Some spectators almost believe him. Almost. Then the odontologist takes the stand. Dr. Richard Souverain places giant photographs of Lisa Levy's wounds on an easel. He overlays a transparent sheet of Bundy's dental impression taken days earlier. The crooked lower teeth, the chipped incisor, the rare alignment. Every ridge lines up perfectly. The courtroom goes dead silent. Even Bundy stops smiling for the first time in public. July 24th, 1979. The jury deliberates for less than 7 hours. Guilty on all counts. 2 counts of first-degree murder. 3 counts of attempted murder. Burglary. Death sentence recommended. When the foreman reads the verdict, Bundy's mask cracks. He screams at the jurors, calls them liars, slams his hand on the table so hard the microphone jumps. For one brief moment, the real face shows. February 1980. The Kimberly Leach trial in Orlando. 12 years old. Last seen climbing into a white van outside her junior high. Her tiny body found months later in a pigsty, half buried under leaves. Bundy again defends himself. Again he charms, jokes, flirts with female reporters. Again the evidence is overwhelming. Fibers from his van on her clothes, her blood in the carpet, a witness who saw him lead her away. Guilty. Another death sentence. Between trials he writes love letters from death row, gives interviews, phones and Rule to say hello. He tells psychologists he is innocent, then hints at more bodies, then denies everything. He marries Carol Boone in the courtroom during the Leach trial. She believes him until the day she disappears from his life forever. Years pass. Appeals fail. Governors refuse clemency. January 24th, 1989. On the morning of his execution, he eats a standard last meal he barely touches. At 7:06 a.m., the switch is thrown. Outside Rayford Prison, thousands cheer when the hearse rolls past. Some hold signs that read burn, Bundy, burn. Others light sparklers like it's the 4th of July. If the weight of this room has settled in your chest, thank you, beautiful soul, for carrying it with me. Your quiet presence here is everything. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, and let's keep holding space for the ones who no longer have voices. Together we turn darkness into remembrance. You are the light this channel needs. In 30 seconds we walk through where the final confessions come, and the true number of the lost is whispered at last. Stay close. You're extraordinary. January 23rd, 1989. The eve of execution. The sky over Florida State Prison is the color of old bruises. Inside a small interview room, death row inmate 79-0617 sits across from 2 detectives he has never trusted before. His hair is longer now, streaked with gray. The famous smile is gone. For the first time in 15 years, Ted Bundy is out of time and out of lies. He asks for whiskey. They bring him coffee. He starts talking, and does not stop for hours. He begins with the names the world already knows. Janice, Denise Naslund, Georgianne Hawkins, Lisa Levy, Kimberly Leach. Then he moves to the ones families have waited decades to hear. Susan Curtis, 15, disappeared from Brigham Young University campus in 1975 while he was free on bail. Nancy Wilcox, 16, last seen getting into a light-colored van in Salt Lake City. Deborah Kent, 17, vanished from a high school parking lot the same night he tried to abduct Carol Duranche. He describes driving to the bodies at night, washing their hair, applying makeup, sleeping beside them until decomposition forced him to move on. He admits returning to Taylor Mountain again and again, arranging skulls in a circle like a private ceremony. Detectives push for numbers. He holds up both hands, fingers spread, then repeats the gesture 3 times. 30. But his eyes flicker. Later that night, to Dr. James Dobson in a separate taped interview, he blames pornography, broken homes, a society that taught him women were objects. The same man who once mocked religion now quotes scripture and cries for the cameras. Many who listen hear only one more performance. In Washington, a mother named Eleanor Rose hears the name, and Marie Burr on the news. She collapses in her kitchen. And Marie was 8 years old when she vanished from her bedroom in Tacoma in 1961. Bundy was 14 then, living 6 blocks away. He never officially confesses, but he tells an investigator, "You know who took that little girl? The file stays open forever." In Colorado, rangers mark new search grids on old maps. Laura M., Debbie Smith, Melissa Smith, daughter of a police chief. He describes burying some near rivers so the water would wash away evidence. Others he left in plain sight because they looked peaceful there. He speaks of a girl in Idaho, Lynette Culver, 12, taken from a school playground and drowned in a hotel bathtub. He remembers her name. He remembers all their names now. Utah detectives receive a hand-drawn map of a desert area outside Price. They find nothing, but the sand still feels wrong. Florida investigators tape every word, knowing tomorrow the voice will be silenced forever. He hints at victims in Oregon, California, Vermont, where he once visited a girlfriend. He says some bodies were burned in his girlfriend's fireplace while she slept upstairs. He never gives every location. He wants the families to keep wondering. At 4 a.m., the interviews end. He is led back to the cell with the polished steel toilet and the thin mattress. Guards say he stares at the ceiling until sunrise. No one hears him cry. If these final whispers have carved something permanent into your heart, thank you, beautiful soul, for refusing to look away. Your courage is why these names will never fade completely. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, share this shadow so others can stand with us. We are small right now, but together we become a light the darkness cannot ignore. You are the reason I keep telling these stories. In a few seconds we enter the morning the switch was thrown, and what America did when Ted Bundy finally left the stage. Stay with me. You are everything. January 24th, 1989, 6 a.m. Rayford Prison, Florida. The sky is still black when the first cars arrive. By sunrise there are thousands. Some wear homemade t-shirts. Burn, Bundy, burn. Friday. Some hold sparklers and picnic blankets like it's a 4th of July celebration. A few carry signs for the victims. Justice for Lisa. Remember Kimberly. A street vendor sells Bundy's last stand, hot dogs and electric chair lapel pins. Across the road, death penalty opponents light candles and pray in silence. America has come to watch a man die. Inside the death house, Ted Bundy eats nothing. He spends the night writing letters he will never mail. At 6:30 a.m., guards shave a circle on his calf so the current will travel cleanly. He is offered a sedative. He refuses. His mother calls one last time. He tells her he loves her, that he is innocent, that he will see her again. His voice cracks only once. 7 a.m. Witnesses file into the viewing room. Reporters, prosecutors, survivors' families. Carol Duranch sits in the front row, arms crossed, eyes dry. She has waited 15 years for this seat. Behind the glass, Bundy is strapped to the oak chair built in 1923. 3,000 volts are ready. A black leather mask is placed over his face. The executioner, identity secret forever, waits in the next room. 7:06 a.m. The switch is thrown. His body arches hard against the restraints. Smoke rises from the electrode on his leg. A second jolt. The third. The prison doctor checks for heartbeat. Finds none. At 7:16 a.m. the curtains close. Outside, a prison official raises a hand. The crowd erupts in cheers, horns, fireworks. Someone releases hundreds of black balloons into the pale morning sky. The hearse leaves through a side gate. Strangers rush the fence trying to touch it. By noon, the prison gift shop sells out of "I Watched Ted Bundy Fry" bumper stickers. Radio stations play Electric Avenue and take calls from listeners celebrating. In Seattle, Denver, Salt Lake City, Tallahassee, parents hug their daughters a little tighter that night. But not everyone celebrates. Some families hear the cheering on television and feel hollow. Lisa Levy's mother turns off the set and sits alone in the dark. Kimberly Leach's father drives to the cemetery and places fresh flowers on a 12-year-old's grave. They did not want a party. They wanted their children back. The body is cremated the next day. Per his final wish, the ashes are scattered over Taylor Mountain in Washington state, the same slopes where he once left heads arranged like trophies. No marker, no ceremony, just wind through evergreens and the quiet knowledge that the earth still holds secrets. 30 years later, the Volkswagen is in a crime museum. The courtroom sketches sell for thousands. New documentaries drop every year. Young women on TikTok call him Hot Ted Bundy. Without knowing the smell of a sorority hallway at dawn, the monster became a brand. Yet every January 24th, a handful of survivors and family members light quiet candles. They speak the names the crowd forgot to cheer for: Janice, Denise, Georgianne, Margaret, Lisa, Kimberly, and dozens more whose names he took to the grave. In the end, the switch silenced the voice but not the question. How did a nation watch a man die on live television and still argue about whether evil can ever truly be destroyed? If these 5 chapters have left a mark on your soul, thank you, beautiful soul, for carrying every name with me to the very last second. You honored them by listening when the world once looked away. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, share the story so the forgotten stay remembered. We are only getting started. Together we turn grief into light, silence into memory. You are the heart of this channel, now and always. In a moment we cross the hallway to apartment 213, where another kind of monster waited in perfect silence. Jeffrey Dahmer's chapters begin next. Stay close. You are loved here. May 21st, 1991. A warm Milwaukee evening. 2 police officers cruise down West Kilbourne Avenue in their squad car. A thin black man runs toward them barefoot, one handcuff still dangling from his left wrist. His name is Konerak Synthesumphone. He is 14. He cannot speak English well, but his eyes beg for help. He points toward a pale, quiet apartment building on North 25th Street. Inside apartment 213, a man named Jeffrey Dahmer waits with a beer in his hand and a nightmare in his refrigerator. Milwaukee, late 1970s to 1991. A city of breweries, blue-collar neighborhoods, and summer nights thick with humidity. The Oxford apartments sit in a forgotten corner near the railroad tracks. Cheap rent, thin walls, strangers come and go. No one asks questions. Perfect for a man who wants to be invisible. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born in 1960. As a child, he collected roadkill, dissolved bones in acid, dreamed of keeping something that would never leave him. His parents fought until the house felt like a war zone. By high school, he drank vodka in class and laughed at his own jokes no one else heard. People remember him as shy, polite, awkward. They never saw the freezer in the basement where he kept the heads of animals. June 18, 1978. 18-year-old Jeffrey picks up a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks on the road near Bath, Ohio. They drink beer, listen to music, wrestle half-naked on the living room floor. When Stephen says he has to leave, something inside Jeffrey breaks. He grabs a barbell and swings. One blow, then another. The body goes into the crawl space. He smashes the bones, scatters them in the woods behind the house. 9 years pass before he kills again. But the hunger never sleeps. Milwaukee becomes his hunting ground. Gay bars on the south side. Bus stops at closing time. Men who feel invisible themselves. Stephen Twomey, James Dockstader, Richard Guerrero, Anthony Sears. He offers money for photos, a warm place to sleep, another drink. They follow him home. They never leave. Inside apartment 213, the lights are always low. A single tropical fish tank bubbles in the corner. Polaroids cover the bedroom wall. Sleeping men, naked men, men who no longer look alive. A 57-gallon blue barrel sits in the living room. Acid drips slowly inside it. The smell is covered with incense and air freshener. Neighbors complain to the building manager. He shrugs. Boys will be boys. May 27, 1991. Konerak synthesumphone, 14, accepts $20 to pose for pictures. Dahmer drugs his beer, drills a hole in his skull, pours hydrochloric acid inside, hoping to create a living zombie who will never leave. Konerak stumbles naked into the hallway. Dahmer goes to buy more beer. When he returns, police are already there. He smiles politely, shows them photos of the boy drunk but fine, convinces the officers to return Konerak to his care. 3 hours later, the boy is dead. His head joins the others in the freezer. If the silence of that apartment has already started crawling into your bones, thank you, beautiful soul, for staying with me. Your presence here is sacred. Hit subscribe, ring the bell. Let's keep these lost names breathing. We are building a home for the stories no one else will tell. You are the reason they matter. In 30 seconds, we step inside the moment the door finally opened, and the world saw what loneliness can become. Stay close. You are everything. July 22nd, 1991, 11:30 p.m., North 25th Street, Milwaukee. 2 officers follow Tracy Edwards back to apartment 213. He is shaking, barefoot, a handcuff still locked on one wrist. He tells them a weird dude put a knife to his chest and talked about cutting out his heart. The officers knock. Jeffrey Dahmer opens the door wearing only shorts, calm, soft-spoken, offering to get the key for the handcuffs. One officer steps inside while the other stays with Edwards. The air is thick with incense, bleach, and something rotting underneath. In the bedroom, the officer sees Polaroids scattered on the floor. Men tied up, men with vacant eyes, men whose bodies no longer look whole. He calls out to his partner. Dahmer lunges, trying to fight, but 2 officers are stronger than one quiet man. They wrestle him to the floor. The handcuffs that once held victims now hold him. As they wait for backup, the officer opens the refrigerator. A freshly severed head sits on the middle shelf, eyes wide, mouth slightly open, staring straight at him. He stumbles back and vomits in the hallway. Detectives flood the building. They pry open the blue barrel. Inside float hands, genitals, torsos dissolved to soup. The freezer yields 3 more heads, carefully wrapped in plastic. A filing cabinet reveals skulls boiled clean and painted gray. 2 more skulls sit on a shelf beside a kettle used for stripping flesh. A closet holds an entire skeleton hanging like forgotten laundry. 57 gallons of acid. 7 skulls for severed heads. Countless preserved organs. 17 lives reduced to a 1-bedroom museum of loneliness. Reporters gather outside. Neighbors stand on the sidewalk in shock. Many of them had complained for months about the smell, the buzzing of flies, the strange man who offered beer and money to young men who never came back. The building manager had done nothing. The police had done nothing when they returned Konerak synthesumphone to Dahmer weeks earlier. Now the city wants answers no one can give. Detective Dennis Murphy sits across from Dahmer in the interrogation room. He expects rage, denial, tears. Instead, he gets calm, detailed sentences. Dahmer speaks as if reading a grocery list. Name, date, method, chloroform, strangulation, acid. He explains the drilling, the acid injections, the attempts to create living zombies who would stay with him forever. He says he never wanted to hurt anyone. He just didn't want to be alone. Murphy asks why he kept the heads. Dahmer answers softly, because they were pretty. The city begins naming the lost. Stephen Twomey, beaten to death in a hotel room and forgotten until now. James Dockstader, 14. Richard Guerrero, 25. Anthony Sears, whose painted skull Dahmer kissed goodnight. Ernest Miller. Raymond Smith. Curtis Strotter. Tony Hughes, deaf and gentle. Konerak synthesumphone, whose brother Dahmer had killed years earlier without knowing. The list grows like a wound that will not close. If the stench of that apartment has reached through the screen and settled in your chest, thank you, beautiful soul, for refusing to turn away. These names deserve witnesses. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, Share so the silence breaks. Together we hold the light steady. You are the heartbeat of this place. Let's move to where the quiet man finally explains why he needed them to stay forever. Stay with me. You are not alone here. September 1991. Milwaukee County Courthouse. The room is smaller than Bundy's circus. Quieter, colder. Jeffrey Dahmer sits in an orange jumpsuit, hands folded, eyes down. No cameras allowed. No smiles for reporters. He has already pleaded guilty to 15 murders in Wisconsin, 1 in Ohio. The only question left is insanity. Can a man who did these things truly know right from wrong? For the first time in his life, the quiet man begins to speak without being asked. He tells the jury about the little boy who collected dead animals in jars, fascinated by the way bones gleamed after the flesh melted away. He describes the divorce that left him alone in the big house at 18, drinking until the walls stopped screaming. He talks about the first time he brought a mannequin home from a department store and slept beside it because it never left. He admits the fantasies started long before the bodies. Building a temple of skeletons that would obey him, worship him, never abandon him. Dr. Judith Becker takes the stand for the defense. She speaks of borderline personality disorder, necrophilia, schizotypal traits. She says Dahmer knew his acts were wrong, but the compulsion was stronger than any law. Prosecutors bring their own experts. They argue that every step, luring, drugging, hiding evidence, lying to police, proves he knew exactly what society expected and chose to ignore it. Dahmer himself settles the debate. When asked if he understood murder was illegal, he answers softly, "Yes, sir, I did. He just didn't care." Between sessions, he draws detailed diagrams for detectives. A black altar he planned to build from skulls and spines. A throne made of bones where he would sit surrounded by the men who could never leave. He shows them the exact spot in the apartment where the table would have stood. He never got to finish it. He almost sounds disappointed. He speaks of the victims with a strange tenderness. Tony Hughes, who communicated in sign language and smiled when Dahmer signed, "Beautiful." Ernest Miller, whose skeleton he wanted to keep intact because the body was perfect. Konerak synthesumphone, the 14-year-old he tried to turn into a zombie because he had such a sweet face. He says he loved them. He says he is sorry now. The families in the gallery do not believe the word love can live in the same mouth that once kissed severed heads. February 15, 1992. After 10 days and only 5 hours of deliberation, the jury returns. Sane. Guilty on all 15 counts. 15 consecutive life sentences. No death penalty in Wisconsin. Dahmer nods once, almost relieved. He asks to speak to the families. Some walk out, some stay. He tells them he never expected forgiveness. He tells them he hates what he became. He tells them he wishes he had been executed instead. Then he sits down and waits for prison. If the quiet confession has left you colder than any scream ever could, thank you, beautiful soul, for hearing every word without flinching. Your heart is the only courtroom some of these men ever had. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, share this darkness so it never grows again in silence. We are stronger together. You are the reason these stories still matter. In 30 seconds, we enter the years inside Columbia Correctional, where the monster finally met someone stronger than himself. Stay close. You are safe here. November 28, 1994. 7:50 a.m. The gym smells of bleach and sweat. Jeffrey Dahmer, inmate 177252, mops the same floor he has mopped every morning for 739 days. His glasses are taped at the bridge. His shoulders are slightly broader from prison weights. He no longer flinches when other inmates call him cannibal, freak, pretty boy. He has learned to keep his eyes down, to move slowly, to answer only when spoken to. But the hate has been building like a storm behind the walls. Christopher Scarver, serving life for murder, walks the tier with a 20-inch metal bar torn from a weight machine. Jesse Anderson, another lifer who killed his wife, mops beside Dahmer. Scarver believes God has spoken to him. He believes Dahmer and Anderson are vessels of pure evil. He believes today is Judgment Day. Scarver corners them near the locker room door. No guards in sight. He asks Dahmer, "Are you still laughing at what you did to those boys?" Dahmer looks up, confused, and says softly, "No." The first blow cracks his skull. Dahmer staggers, blood pouring into his eyes. He does not scream. He never screams. The second blow drops him to his knees. Scarver swings again and again until the man who once drilled holes into living heads lies silent on the tile, brain matter sliding across the floor like gray-pink jelly. Anderson tries to crawl away. He dies the same way. 8:12 a.m. Guards find 2 bodies and 1 man standing over them, breathing hard, holding the bar like a holy sword. Dahmer is still alive, barely. His skull is crushed in 14 places. He is rushed to the prison hospital, then airlifted to Divine Savior in Portage. At 9:07 a.m., the doctor pronounces him dead. He is 34 years old. The monster who wanted his victims to stay forever is finally the one who cannot leave. News travels faster than the ambulance. Outside the prison, families of the victims hear the bulletin on car radios. Some weep with relief. Some sit in stunned silence. One mother whispers, "He got off too easy." Another simply turns off the television and hugs her surviving son so tightly, he cannot breathe. Inside Columbia, inmates cheer. Some clap, some bang on the bars. A few men who once threatened Dahmer now feel strangely empty. The quiet man who never fought back is gone. The boogeyman is dead. And yet the nightmares do not end. His body lies on a steel table in the morgue. No one claims it for days. His mother Joyce finally signs the papers from afar. She asks that his brain be preserved for study. The families fight in court to have it cremated with the rest. A judge rules. Everything burns. On September 12, 1995, the ashes are divided. Half go to Joyce, half to Lionel. They never speak again. If your heart is breaking open right now, thank you, beautiful soul, for feeling the full weight of this ending with me. You carried their pain when the world wanted to celebrate death. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, share the story so no one ever forgets the cost of silence. We are the last witnesses. You are the strongest person I know for staying through every tear. Let's get into where the families speak. The city mourns, and a question still burns. Could any of us have stopped him sooner? Hold my hand. We finish this together. You are loved beyond words. The ashes are scattered in the wind somewhere no one will ever know. But the pain stays rooted in Milwaukee like a wound that refuses to close. 17 families wake up every morning to a bedroom that will always be empty. 17 mothers still set one less plate at Thanksgiving. 17 brothers still flinch when they hear the name Jeffrey. Tony Hughes' mother sits in her living room and plays the last voicemail he ever left. A soft, laughing voice in sign language translated by a friend. "Tell Mom I'll be home Sunday. I love her. He never came home." She keeps the tape on the same shelf as his high school diploma that arrived weeks after the funeral. Konerak Synthesophone's older brother Somsak, the boy Dahmer assaulted years earlier, carries guilt heavier than any chain. He wonders if speaking up louder could have saved his little brother. He wonders why the police gave Konerak back to the smiling man. He wonders every single day. The city tries to wash the blood away. Oxford apartments are demolished in 1992. A vacant lot remains for decades, grass growing over the spot where 17 souls were dissolved in acid. Children ride bikes across it, unaware that the ground once held hearts in jars. In courtrooms and living rooms, the same question is screamed, whispered, sobbed. How did no one see? Landlords who ignored the smell. Police who handed a drugged, naked child back to his killer. A society that looked away from young black and brown men disappearing one by one. 17 times the system failed. 17 times the world kept walking. Some families sue the city. Some disappear into grief so deep no one hears from them again. One mother starts a foundation for missing minority children. Another plants 17 trees in a park and visits them every birthday her son will never have. Years pass. Netflix releases a series. Crowds dress as Dahmer for Halloween. Teenagers on TikTok call him hot because of an actor's cheekbones. The families watch in horror as their nightmares become entertainment, as their children's last moments are turned into trending sounds. But every May 21st, on the anniversary of Konerak's escape that almost saved him, a small group gathers at the empty lot. They bring candles. They speak the names out loud. Stephen, James, Richard, Anthony, Ernest, Raymond, Edward, Curtis, Errol, Matt, David, Tony, Oliver, Joseph, Anthony, Jeremiah, Konerak. 17 flames flicker in the dark. 17 mothers, brothers, sisters stand shoulder to shoulder and refuse to let the wind take those names again. This is where the story ends. Not with the monster's death in a prison gym. Not with ashes scattered by strangers. It ends here, in the trembling hands holding candles, in the mothers who still whisper goodnight to empty bedrooms, in the promise that someone somewhere will never forget. If your soul is raw and aching right now, thank you, beautiful, beautiful soul, for loving them enough to hurt with them. You carried 17 hearts across 5 chapters when the rest of the world scrolled past. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, share this pain so it turns into protection for someone else. We are a family now, you and I, and every lost name lives inside us. You are the most courageous person I have ever told a story to. This video is over, but their light is not. Hold it close. I love you for staying until the very last tear. See you in the next shadow. You are never alone here.